Introducing Custom Scan Discovery for HawkScan. HawkScan is an enterprise-grade vulnerability scanner for dynamic testing of running web applications. HawkScan can find vulnerabilities in many kinds of web apps, including server-side and rendered web applications, documented REST APIs, GraphQL APIs, and more. HawkScan will typically run a spidering mechanism to traverse your web application and find entry points. In HawkScan 2.8.0, we provide a new way to configure this by telling HawkScan exactly the command you want to run to generate HTTP traffic from your web app proxied into HawkScan. This will use the environment present on the process calling HawkScan to configure and run the provided command. HawkScan also provides the HTTP proxy environment variable configured, so that tools can directly send traffic into the scanner. HawkScan can be run either from the command line or from a Docker container, and HawkScan's behavior is configured from the StackHawk YAML file we are editing here. Notice this file also supports interpolation of environment variables at runtime, which makes providing secrets and other runtime configuration easy. Running HawkScan with our custom scan discovery configured with curl into our app, we see that HawkScan can see the route and later reuses that path during the active scan phase. This gives security teams very surgical access into their web application and the ability to find vulnerabilities on exact paths. Custom scan discovery enables security teams looking to cover more surface area of their scanned applications to reuse existing development and QA tools and feed them into HawkScan to discover their web apps. Let's use a different dev tool that I have here. I have a separate StackHawk YAML configured with a command set to call Newman, which is the Postman CLI runner that can test paths in a Newman collection in a Postman collection file. I also have here a Postman collection, which specifies a number of URLs and query params, as well as variables, which my web application accepts and tests for, with existing values configured, which we should be able to see when we call HawkScan with our newly configured custom scan discovery. Notice I have also configured Newman to output in verbose mode, and I've also configured HawkScan to log the output to the foreground. So when the scan runs, we see the output of Newman directly in the terminal. Notice that some of the requests it's making are being rejected with either 401 or 403 forbidden. I didn't provide authentication into Newman, so Newman is making unauthenticated requests into my web application. But that is just fine, because the paths will still get discovered by HawkScan. And HawkScan is configured, set up for username and password authentication with cookie authorization, so that HawkScan can continue to test these routes properly with authentication. Configuring HawkScan to authenticate your web application is easy if you built it right, and scriptable if your app's authentication is tricky. Remember, bugs are easier to find and cheaper to fix in development rather than in production, and custom scan discovery and HawkScan general definitely works better pointed to localhost under HTTP rather than over a hosted server on a network encrypted with HTTPS. All of this is super well documented as well on docs.stackhawk.com and is way more configurable than I have described. Really, any CLI command that generates HTTP traffic into your application can feed HawkScan. And that means all kinds of testing tools can be combined. We believe by giving straightforward resources to developers and software teams, users can maintain a stronger application security posture as they develop and defend their awesome software.